to announce, Dothan, Alabama, that I am running Beth Kenward for Dothan City Commission, District 5. What I'm about to tell you today is not really so much a political speech. I need you guys to know me, and I need you to be able to trust me and my values and my decision-making ability. So that's what I'm going to tell you about today. Let me get a couple of things out of the way here. I'm doing this for the love of my community. I'm also doing this out of a deep sense of obligation that I have to this community. I want my kids to know what it means to plug in, to give back, and to get off the couch and do something, doggone it. I'm also self-funding this campaign. I made that decision because I want to know that when I get elected, I've done that because you guys think I can do a good job. I've actually been strategically unburdening my plate for the last year. I thought obviously that I had a little more time than I had, but here we are, and I am ready for this job. Lastly, you will not see my yard signs until after the Christmas holidays. I believe in respecting the sanctity of Christmas. So you will start to see yard signs and signage for me in the month of January. You will, however, have lots of other opportunities to engage with me, and I've set some things up I'll tell you about momentarily. I have actually set up a Facebook page. I'll give you that information. There's some cards with that information on there. I have set up a Gmail email address so that people can email me. I've also set up a phone number. I want the voters to be able to call me, ask me questions, hear my voice. And if it comes down to it, and there are issues raised that I need to address, I don't know that you can always truly convey your sentiments through a Facebook post or through an email or through a text message. So I'm willing to do some YouTube posts to answer questions. I need people to be able to look me right in the eyeball and see and feel exactly what I mean. So all of that's out of the way. Moultrie, Georgia, not far from here. I grew up in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. I went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, go Tar Heels, and graduated from there proudly in the year 1998. After graduating, I had this amazing opportunity to join a startup.com out in San Francisco, California. Now, at the time, I was young and ambitious, so I sold everything that was not nailed down, and I headed out west on my first adventure as an adult. I started with that company in an entry-level position, which basically means I ate a lot of ramen noodles and lived with 6 other girls to be able to afford to live in San Francisco. Within a year of arriving in San Francisco, my company got purchased by a larger company based in New York City. So guess what? I got promoted to department head at 23 years old and was told I had to move to the biggest city in our country. I arrived in New York with my knees knocking, but I learned so much out of that experience. I spent 5 years working in the financial data industry. But you know what? Out of all of that, living in New York, living in California, it never changed who I was as an individual. In fact, I got teased for being conservative. And that was okay with me because my friends and my co-workers knew that I would never compromise who I really was and my Southern upbringing to fit what they thought I should be doing. And they respected that. They knew I would shoot them straight. I met my husband, Tony, at Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church in New York City. We were both volunteering in our church's homeless shelter. We call it God's blind date because we had not known each other. And we got to know each other over a series of a few hours that night, and I don't think we've left each other's side since. Once Tony proposed and we knew things were getting serious, I said, frankly, you have to move me below the Mason-Dixon line. I cannot handle this cold tundra that we live in any longer. We were ready to have a family, so we headed out in January of 2005. We came to Dothan 22 hours later after a very long trip for what we thought was a brief visit with family. Here I am 10 years later. That was not a brief visit. I have set down roots here. Tony and I have built a life here. We bought property. We have had 2 beautiful children. I hate that they're not here today. And as of last week, we became the proud owners of downtown property. We bought 150 North Foster Street because we want to see downtown flourish and grow like never before. Tony jokes that everybody in Dothan, Alabama is like a Walmart greeter. Y'all get that? It's a pretty strong endorsement. I've heard him talking to some of our friends who live elsewhere, and he said, "You cannot believe how nice people are here." The thing is I was not born here. I have chosen to live here. In fact, Tony and I both have had multiple job opportunities in other places with lots of different opportunities for our careers to grow, and every time we thought, we've got a great thing going here. We choose Dothan, Alabama. Out of all the roles that I play, my hardest and most rewarding is that of motherhood. If you ever want an honest opinion, ask a 6 or 8-year-old, because they will tell you, not trying to spare your feelings. My children, both, my boy is 6, my little girl is 8, and they both go to Highlands Elementary School, which is right in the middle of District 5 there. They are very enthusiastic little learners. They're excited about going to school every day. And what that tells me is that our Dothan City Schools has a lot to offer, and more people need to know about that. My kids can't wait to go to the library, can't wait to go to the school. I was blessed enough to join, and I'm going to try not to get emotional here, to join the staff of Covenant Hospice. That was 6 years ago. I learned more about compassion and true selflessness from those people than at any other time in my life. And some of my family is here from that place. Thank you. I was dubbed by one of the nurses there as Can-Do Kenward. Her name is Tasha. She couldn't be here today, but I would have used it as a campaign slogan. However, she's probably had it copyrighted, knowing her. So that staff there never had to wonder whether I would get something done. They never had to ask if or was it possible. They knew if they gave me something to do that I got it done, and I did it with joy and gladness. I had this huge volunteer team of over 250 souls that selflessly gave of themselves daily. That staff and that volunteer team supported me so much that my job of fundraising and heading our volunteer department felt much more like a ministry than it did a job. I left Covenant a few years ago to join my sweet husband in the insurance industry. And as you all know, we are in a very rocky insurance time right now. Why would I dive into the deep end of the pool? Because I saw a need there. I saw a need for people to have someone that they could trust. Someone that they felt like could explain their options to them and make it in relatable terms, and somebody that they knew that they could trust to pick up the phone. That is what people need. They need somebody that they can hang on to and know that they're going to steer them in the right direction, even if sometimes the right direction doesn't get you a paycheck. I am a strong advocate of volunteering and community involvement. At this point, I am a Rotarian. I believe in the ideals of service above self. I stay involved in this community. I sit on the board of the Wiregrass Museum of Art. I also sit on the board of the Houston County Republican Women. I'm a member of the Houston County Republican Executive Committee. I'm a strong advocate of our Dothan Chamber and have volunteered as an ambassador and a diplomat there for the last 3 years. I'm a graduate of Leadership Dothan, and let me tell you something about that program. I never thought I could fall more deeply in love with the city until I went through that program. I met men and women, our police officers, our fire chief, all these people that take care of us daily, and we have no idea what they do for us. I got to walk through our hospitals, our schools. I got to see on a daily basis what happens here in our city government. It's a fantastic program. I recommend it, and it has certainly led me to stand right here before you today. I know what kind of special gift that we have here, and it is worth protecting. Out of all my volunteer roles, my favorite one is that I volunteer for the worship team at Harvest Church. There is nothing like it. Nothing compares to worshiping with other Christians. Nothing compares to being just a small part of bringing people into the presence of Christ. So I've already cried for you. Let me leave you with this. I will never be afraid to tell you what I think. If we disagree, I will continue to treat you with respect and kindness until we can find some common ground. I'm not in this race for popularity. I'm doing this because I think it is my obligation to give back to my community, and I want my kids to be able to say, my mom got out there and did something. I want to represent the constituents of District 5. I live there. These people are my neighbors. We have a lot going on, and they need to have someone who can communicate with them and take their ideas to our city. Here's what I need from you. I want to know what I can do for District 5. I need you to communicate with me, and I'm about to tell you how you can do that. I set up a couple of different ways. You can go to Facebook. Facebook is www.facebook.com/Dothan District 5. That is my official campaign Facebook page. I've also set up an email address for you to be able to email me, dothandistrict5@gmail.com. And I have set up a Google Voice number so that you can call me. I think sometimes you can't get everything said that you need to in an email. That number is 334-553-FIVE. Sensing a theme yet? I want your vote on February 10th. February 10th is the special election. I need your vote. I need you to support me verbally. Yes, I'm not asking anyone for financial support. I need your verbal support. If you think I'm pretty good at what I think I can do, then I need you to tell other folks. I need you to call me. I need you to get me involved, get me in front of groups. I need people to be able to trust me and know me as a person. I need your prayers. It is not easy to get out in public and run for public office. That is not an easy thing to do. I have the time for this job. I want this job to be District 5 Commissioner. I'd like to introduce you to a couple of people today. First of all, in the front row, my lovely husband holding the camera there, that's Tony. And the lady sitting next to him is my sweet mother. You guys can thank her for bringing me to Dothan, Alabama. My campaign manager, Jack Cox, he's the guy you will see most likely directing traffic and telling you what to do. He's going to keep me on target. My finance manager is back in the back, Miss Susan Wilkins, if you'll wave at everybody. And I have a marketing guru named Nick Stakelman, so you'll see more come out from him. Thank you so much for being here. I told someone this morning I knew what it felt like to be one of those Kentucky Derby horses, just waiting in the stalls, waiting for that gun to go off. I'm excited, I'm enthusiastic, and I hope that you can stay with me throughout this campaign. Thank you so much.